We use the same word, feeling, to explain our emotions, how our emotions are connected to our physical bodies, what our physical bodies do under our consent, and what our physical bodies do without our control. It should be no surprise, this causes confusion when trying to distinguish what's going on with yourself and with others. Add to that, interpreting all these types of feelings into words and choosing actions can end up being very difficult. As we practice and have experiences, it becomes easier and we advance through larger cycles, best described as Kundalini awakening. In the West, it's often labeled as a syndrome. Most of the time, feelings of the body can easily be identified as either out of our control or by consent. However, sometimes both of these types can come together with feelings of emotion. Feelings of a body that are out of our control is a phenomenon that, like what they call a monosynaptic response, which is a literal knee-jerk reaction. Just boom, you hit and your leg goes up. Now, another type is a reflexogenic response, part of a genital reaction which is not able to be controlled. This automatic body feeling is one of those that can be difficult to distinguish from body consent feeling and emotion feeling. The feelings of emotion have historically been inaccurately simplified. In all actuality, all humans, with one known exception type, have the same full range of emotions as seen simplified in this image. Everyone feels like you do, even when you feel like no one understands how you feel. Sometimes everyone feels that way. This image shows us the need for a broad vocabulary and experiences in the emotional feelings and intensities. We can start to see that emotions are not just what is connected, but simultaneous, similar, different, and even start to see that sometimes they appear exactly consecutively as rapid cycling, the stages of change. We do this overtly as children. Sometimes they're all at once and being difficult to isolate, and the variations on intensity obviously differ from individual to individual based on the situation or other factors. Some last a second or any length of time up to a lifetime, and sometimes they can distort time. Other emotions at times can be easily managed. Most emotions are able to be managed. Over-managed emotions and under-managed emotions are both equally unhealthy. You cannot trust visual cues, smiling, crying, as an indicator of moods unless you're really familiar with a person. Some people choose to mimic emotions. This can be considered dishonest or insulting. There are some humans who don't have a full range of emotional feelings. Low or mutated MAOA genetic profiles. The person is not necessarily a psychopath, rather the person suffers from psychopathy. In these people, mimicry of a full range of balanced emotional feelings can be enough to compensate for the condition. Crying, screaming, laughing, these are all part of the human experience. Filters for processing the life stuff, tools for finding the ways of dismissing the homicidal, suicidal thoughts. That is the one thing this image doesn't necessarily show, that at the end of every emotional down cycle is the reality of the human condition, to contemplate the last options. Side note, screaming where people can hear you that makes them worry or call the emergency services is not recommended unless absolutely necessary. We have two meanings for the term sharing emotions. One is sharing experience. The other is the communication of a non-shared experience. It is best to have multiple people for both to prevent emotional incest, emotional reliance on someone that can be more that the person should or could bear, or that emotionally isolates someone else. Even with shared emotions, it is possible to mostly sort out what feelings are others compared to one's own. No one can really make you feel anything. It really feels like they can sometimes, but under normal, non-institutionalized circumstances, it's all you. Yes, it is your personality, choices, techniques, and practices in emotional sensitivity and management that dictate how you feel and how you deal with those feelings and the expressing of them.